إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهدي الله فهو المهتدي ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله خير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها كل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Tonight, inshallah, we will continue with this series, and that is building determinations and building a self and training a person on how to connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and how to fulfill His purpose in this life. And this dunya is a stage, and quickly you will pass, and quickly you will leave. And if the time was enough to fight and to argue and to dispute, then that will be great. But life is shorter than that. وَالْأَمْرُ أَعْجَلُ مِنْ ذَلِكَ. And life is shorter than that. And life goes faster than this, than to get yourself busy with this stuff. And the wise person is he who take advantage of it while he's still in it. Because once you leave it, it's history. And this dunya is mata' al-ghurur. It's only deception, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, full of deception. So we need to be focused. And we need to fulfill our real purpose in this existence. But to be worried about dealing with our issues and problems that we create of no reason and for no purpose, and that's a different matter. And that's something that we need to pass. And something needs to be over. The small things become major, where they need to be killed when they start. But once we build on Him, and once we take the opportunity to talk about them, more and more we make small things huge. And only losers will do that. And only people who got no concern, no other concerns will be busy with that. With fasafis al-umur. With the minute, worthless issues. And we need to be beyond that. And actually this is one of the purpose of these lectures, is that we need to go beyond that level, the level of the mainstream person, the level of the person whose life and whose purpose in life is focused between his jaw and his legs. We need to move beyond that. And that's what we need to do. We need to be wise, and we need to be intelligent, and we need to be smart in the way we deal with issues. So inshallah, we learn something every night, and we learn something every day. And the experience is nothing but to add up to your experience in this life. So if it's good, you put it into practice. And if it's bad, you avoid falling in it again. As we stopped last time, and we talked about the person whose desires are many, and the person whose goals are many in this dunya, and who doesn't know why he's exactly living. One day he lives for work, one day he lives for food, one day he lives for women, one day he lives to play. So every day he's confused. He doesn't know what this day gonna be for. And he's confused of those whom he needs to please. So such person is scattered. And such a person is confused. And such person cannot be stable. So if he's not stable in his life, he can't function well. And if he cannot function well, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala طيب لا يقبل إلا طيبا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is good. Only accept that which is good. Allah wants the best out of you. ولا تيمموا الخبيث as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يا أيها الذين آمنوا أنفقوا من طيبات ما كسبتم ومما أخرجنا لكم من الأرض ولا تيمموا الخبيث منه تنفقون ولستم بآخذه إلا أن تغمضوا فيه. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about the sadaqah, and you can apply that to every other matter in this life. When it comes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah says, you believe, spend from the best of what you earn, from the best of what you earn, and from what we had given you from the earth. And Allah gives that example because of an incident. وَلَا تَيَمَّمُوا الْخَبِيثَ مِنْهُ تُنْفِقُونَ وَلَسْتُمْ بِآخِذِيهِ إِلَّا أَن تُغْمِضُوا فِيهِ. And do not give, as some wanted to give sadaqah from their food and from their fruits, and they go and they give the worst. They give the worst that they will not accept for themselves. وَلَسْتُمْ بِآخِذِيهِ إِلَّا أَن تُغْمِضُوا فِيهِ. And they would not use and they would not take unless they don't see. I don't see what it looks like, we will give it away. Such a behavior is rejected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He wants the best. مِن طَيِّبَاتِ مَا كَسَبْتُ. From the best of what you earn. And that applies to every facet in this life and to everything when you deal with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't give Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the free time you have. Don't give Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the extra time you have. Everything else takes the extra time and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes the main time. So that is the attitude we need to have. And that is the other person. The person who's focused and the person whose purpose in life is one. And that is the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we said such person walk in this dunya ala basira. And he lives in this dunya with the right understanding. And he is stable. And he is focused. And he knows where he's heading. And he knows what he needs to do. And he knows whom he needs to please. And whom he has to please. And he knows that even if the whole world is against him, as long as he's doing what pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's satisfied. And he's happy. And he's content. And those are two kinds of people that we had spoken about. And we also mentioned that you can never please all people. And this is something beyond capacity of a human being. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala لا يكلف نفسا إلا وسعها. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created you, He did not give you that ability to please everyone. You can never do that. And if there were people to do that, would have been the prophets of Allah, whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them knowledge, and whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them hikmah and wisdom, and whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them tathbit, and whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them the support, yet they could not please everyone. So even some of them could not please anyone. Some of them could not even please and guide their families. Nuh alayhi salam couldn't guide his son. And Lut alayhi salam couldn't guide his wife. And Ibrahim alayhi salam couldn't guide his father. And Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam couldn't guide his uncle. So as you can see, this is how it is. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not expect from you to guide everyone or to please everyone. That is why you need to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and be focused about it. يقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم من كانت نيته الآخرة جعل الله غناه في قلبه وجمع له شمله وأتته الدنيا راغمة ومن كانت الدنيا أكبر همه جعل الله فقره بين عينيه وفرق عليه شمله ولا يأتيه منها إلا ما يكتب له. And these are words from the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam الذي أوتي جوامع الكلم. And he was given the ability to say a little, but it means a lot. And he says sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, summarizing a lot of what we had said. He said, he who makes the akhirah his main concern. He who puts this akhirah, and that is to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to gain the pleasure of Allah and the acceptance of Allah. He who puts it in his heart as of his priority. He who has it as his main thing and main purpose in this life. يقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make him